Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to what could be the final major North American European Dota match of 2012. A very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you all. It's been a bit of an early present for us, something in the stocking the night before. It's been a treat to cast this series for you guys. Thank you all for supporting Western Dota, as well as these teams, Team Empire and Na'Vi. Be sure to follow and support them if you want to do so. They have Facebooks and Twitters. I don't know them offhand, but should be pretty easy to find. Hopefully the mods can link them in the chat, but they should all have more followers and supporters. All the pro players should, but especially these two teams. We're in game number 4. It is currently Na'Vi leading the series 2-1. It's technically 1-1 as far as the game's played, but Na'Vi has that winner's bracket advantage in this best out of 5. I'm LD, and I'm joined here today by Merlini, who hopefully is still hanging in there, because it has been just a really confusing and crazy series so far.
It's the best of 5. Again, 4th game going on here. We see much similar bans, NA and Bat taken out. Clinks again. Team Empire is on Dire, so Funix Clinks, too much reputation, has to be banned. Can't handle it, apparently. So Magnus, first pick for Na'Vi. And Darkseer and Jakiro shortly picked up by Team Empire. Same picks we saw last game.
If they went with the Beastmaster, I would say that they've clearly been watching LGD China. This is a very strong lineup, and that's something LGD love to do, is run that solo mid beast. But Empire, same picks pretty much from them. They have that really potent vacuum into Ice Wall combo, or not Ice Wall, Ice Path combo. Easy to mix those two up, and we'll see what they go for. But they don't have. I would like to see more stuns out of them, because they're a team that likes to tower dive. They like to take early clashes, and generally you want those. Na'Vi with the triple melee, farm-dependent, level-dependent opening, they're going to go for a Lifestealer.
And they pick up the Lone Druid as well early. We saw it work out for them. Light of Heaven played an amazing Lone Druid, getting tons of farm, even in the off lane, and rushing that Midas and Radiance, and just that spelled early doom for Empire.
Void the response. Void, I gotta say, as far as carries go, one of the very best ways to do with that Lifestealer, that Chronosphere, of course, goes through Rage. You have the Bash to go man-to-man with him later on in the game, and the Backtrack to take less damage. Possibly the best hard carry to deal with that Lifestealer. They also have a great Wombo combo, potentially. They drop the Chronosphere, vacuum the heroes together, and throw the Ice Path, the Macrofire on top of it. It could be devastating. Whatever order they combo those abilities in, it's a lot to worry about, and it can counter the Mag. Also, they pick it as their 3rd pick, so we'll probably see a Rubik ban here, I would imagine, because there's a lot of good spells to use. And something you touched on, we didn't have a chance to talk about a lot, is Puppey had a huge impact that game, stealing pretty much everything. Refraction, Call Down, Ice Path. I think there were a couple other big ones that are escaping me at this point, but he had a huge impact, so I won't be surprised if we see a Rubik ban here.
We see an interesting ban in Bane. I guess Team Empire does like to use it, and he is pretty good versus Lifestealer. You can just Fiend's Grip him during raid and try and take him down with physical damage. Enigma and Furion bans from Team Empire.
This is interesting. They're banning out just a lot of pushing heroes and more farm-dependent heroes. Would Na'Vi really go for those? That would it would give them just such, weakness in the laning stage. And I guess for Empire, they don't really have a. Maybe we'll see that solo mid Darkseer in a safe lane Void. Because what is it going to be? An off lane Lodred? I guess that's a pretty tough matchup, so probably not. I wonder what Na'Vi's up to with their last 2 picks. They desperately need some supports. They desperately need some ranged heroes. And I got to mention again, there's still a Rubik in the pool. If Empire don't ban that, I think Na'Vi would love to pick it up.
An immediate Dirge ban from Na'Vi. Team Empire also has to consider a solo mid. We saw TA picked up both games in the earlier in the series, but I'm not sure if they're going to go with TA this time around.
It hasn't really been working too well in these games because the teams are grouping up a lot. The first game, it took them longer to start grouping up, but once they did, they never really looked back. And then in the second game, it was just Na'Vi always having 4 or 5 there. You might see Phantom Lancer split pushing, but then he gets recalled in by the Keeper of the Light. Another hero that's still in the pool, and another support that Empire, they do ban the Rubik, but that opens up the Keeper of the Light, and Na'Vi probably going to snap that up here.
We saw TA get a pretty big advantage on getting the early kill on Magnus, but after that, we didn't really see that much from it, so I don't think they will pick it up, but they do. There are a lot of other options for them right now, though, and we see Coddle pick up by Na'Vi.
Yeah, pretty expected, really, because it fills pretty much all their needs. Very farm independent, but it can counter the pushing, and That's something Navi's a bit weak on. They don't have much counter push, and with that Darkseid, you can see the early mech Jakir is a good pushing support. I'm wondering what Empire's going to do the rest of the way. Do they want to get aggressive here to try and punish all these farm-dependent heroes? We'll have to see. Lifestealer Keeper of the Light is the makings of a pretty strong defensive lane, though, so won't be the easiest place to get kills.
They do need another babysitter for Faceless Void if Na'Vi decides to go with an aggressive tri-lane with Coddle, Lifestealer, and another stunner. Faceless Void's going to have a very hard time farming.
Maybe that Shadow Demon. It gives you that Demonic Purge, and it's great against Lifestealer, and also nice to disrupt a hero who gets RP'd. And it would just give them a really powerful laning hero, plus Soul Catcher, great against some of these tankier heroes. But they go for Queen of Pain.
Queen of Pain, a very good pickup from Team Empire. I think the AoE just synergizes very well with Vacuum, with Ice Path, with Chronosphere, and she has much more of a... she can survive versus Magnus in case you accidentally get skewered back into tower. She always has that handy bleak escape mechanism.
Handy dandy indeed, and let's see how Na'Vi round out their lineup. They do need that other support. Most likely we're going to see the Light of Heaven off-lane Lone Druid, the solo mid-mag by Dendi, the Havost Lifestealer, and I think an Arsart Keeper of the Light, and then something for Puppey to round out the lineup. I'm very curious to see what he goes for. And also for Empire, who's going to be that final support for them? It's a Lion from Na'Vi. We're probably going to see some abuse of those stacks to try and get Lion levels because he's a very level-dependent support.
So, as you were saying before, Team Empire is going for a more gank-oriented lineup, which I think suits their playstyle a lot better. With Quap instead of TA middle, you know, even if Quap is a little bit behind in farm, she can definitely make a huge impact on the other lanes. Her huge AoE can just demolish under-leveled supports in the triple lane.
And I'm really glad that you mentioned earlier that, you know, the Queen of Pain's pretty mobile and they don't have a lot of ways to lock her down reliably. Lion gives them that. If he can get the levels, that Hex is the perfect counter, not only to him, but also to Void. If Void time leaps in and Lion's really quick on his reactions, Chronosphere does have a decent cast animation. That's something that Lion could immediately Hex him and turn the fights around until the BKB's up, at which point he could start with it. But I love this Lion pick, and because they have the Keeper of the Light and the Lifestealer, two heroes who can farm the jungle reasonably quickly and clear stacks quickly, if they don't completely get trashed in the laning phase, Lion will get those levels, and he'll be a huge addition to this team in the mid game.
Lion is a very good pick for Na'Vi. They do not have any lockdown. Magnus, Lone Druid, Lifestealer, and Coddle can't keep Quap in place unless you use RP on her. And you don't just want to use a RP just on QOP, or the Faceless Void will just come in Chronosphere and you'll lose the team fight right there. So Queen of Pain, we may see her opt for an early Lincoln so that she doesn't get Hex from Lion. That Hex will be devastating for her. But then again, Lion can just pop it with Mana Drain. So it's interesting to see what build Queen of Pain will go for this game.
And so what are we looking at for lanes for Empire? They go with a Disruptor, which suggests the off-lane Funnick. And I think I like him better as that off-lane Darkseer, because then he can start to really punish the supports, whereas when he's in that, yep, don't worry guys, overlay under control, nobody freak out. For Merlini, you probably haven't heard about it, but I'm known to mess with my overlays, but I've been good today. So on the side of Empire, we have Scandal. He's playing the Queen of Pain. We have Silent on that support Disruptor. Probably a defensive trialing with that offlane Funnick. It looks like that is the case. Godblack on the Jakiro. Blow Your Brain on the Faceless Void. Last but not least, Funnick on the offlane Jakiro with a very early Smoke of Deceit. I'll let you try and puzzle that one out. But on Na'Vi, we have Dendi on the mag. He'll be going solo mid. He'll be rushing that bottle. We have Havost on the support, the safe lane farming Lifestealer. Light of Heaven on what should be an offlane Lone Druid. Oh, actually, maybe not. Maybe just a jungle Lone Druid. It looks like they're either abandoning that offlane or going to have... They can't be having Arsart just solo it. They need him down bottom, I got to imagine. And Puppey on the Lion. So I guess they're abandoning the offlane.
Seconds to battle.
Very interesting that we see smokes on both teams at this point. And this ward is immediately taken out. Disruptor tries to place the lane ward, a rune ward on bottom. Puppey immediately spots it, has sentries in the inventory, and just kills it immediately.
And they protect their jungle, and this is something Na'Vi really wanted to do, is just get a lot of levels, do a lot of stacking and pulling and farming, and Empire aren't really looking to contest this, so I think Na'Vi's really going to they're going to get a lot more than... I mean, when you see that opening with the Mag Lone Druid Nakes, or Lifestealer rather, it's such a greedy lineup that you have to be worried if you're going to be able to get the farm. And even the Lion, not really the best laning support, but a great hero if you can get the levels and farm. I think Navi's going to be able to accomplish all that. But with the early smoke on Funnick, maybe he'll be looking to go for some ganks.
So it looks like both offlane heroes have decided to just say, screw it, I don't want to die. I'm just going to get some levels and experience, levels and gold in the jungle. So we see Light of Heaven on Lone Druid starting out of the big camp on Radiant side, and Funnick on Darkseer starting off on the small camp on Dire side.
And he's going to be able to clear it out quickly. It will be in time for that. And notice how he's just eating the tree here. He needs the regen anyway. He's going to clear the path. He'll go stack the big camp, and then he'll go back and farm the small camp. Really efficient. I know that's something that you always like to see on those jungling players. So Funnick being as efficient as possible. Tons of stacks and pulls. This is going to be a hard lane for that mag. He'll be able to bottle Crow and spam his shockwave, but Shadow Strike Caress, such a pain in the ass.
Quap's a very, very strong solo hero. We saw her... you know, a little bit fall out of favor because TA was very, very strong and Bat. But with both of those heroes getting nerfed at 6.77, we should start seeing QOP more.
Yeah, and Dendy doesn't have the bottle on the way, so he's getting a little bit sooner. We don't see that dual lane with the twin-headed dragon that was there last game, pressuring him. And then farm trades for the safe lane. Lifestealer left completely alone, trying to control the wave, keep it back. And the Void being left completely alone, also trying to keep the wave back because his team is doing massive amounts of pulling right around the Rosie from Blow, who I believe was pulled some regen, or no, actually I think he just bought the poor man shit himself. And well, what do you make of this trade? The Void just being given free farm, the Lifestealer being given free farm, and then both teams just aggressively trying to maximize their jungle pulls.
Well, it looks like Navi does have better late game in Lone Druid and Lifestealer, but we have to see how much of an effect this Quap. Quap is going to have a big effect on Navi. She really needs to keep their heroes down in this mid game. So it's interesting to see how it's going to pan out. He needs to gank this Lone Druid a couple of times before he gets his Radiance. You cannot allow Lifestealer to free farm for the first 10 minutes of the game and let Syllabear get a 20-minute Radiance. If both of those things happen, it's going to be very bad for Team Empire.
If anyone can deal with that, it might be Void, but it is going to be really tough. And you can chrono both of those heroes, but they're so tanky. Can you really bring them both down in the chrono? Like you said, a lot rests on the Queen of Pain's shoulders to provide that mid-game burst. And just total passivity from both teams. But they're not just sitting around doing nothing. They recognize the enemy team is farming. We're seeing double pulls from Puppey. We've seen already Funnick just consistently stacking this camp and has not used the smoke yet. I'm still trying to keep my eye on him to see when he blows that.
He just used it.
Interesting. So he's not actually going to attack the creeps here. He's just going to let them burn themselves down.
They're splitting in all directions, though. Looks like it's a little bit inefficient for him.
Yeah,
we see Goblek on THD actually stack this big camp over here. Looks like it's a quad stack right now, actually.
Wow, this is... Eternal Envy would be very proud. He loves his stacks. And I think before you were really playing a lot of Dota 2, the way that you could actually smoke jungle and the creeps wouldn't react. In Dota 1, they all scatter immediately. But in Dota 2, when it first came out, there was no movement from the creeps. You could smoke jungle, they wouldn't even react. So once that was fixed, because Ice Frog did view it as a bug and patched out of the game, it sort of fell out of favor. But we're seeing that it does still work, especially if the supports come in to help clean it up. And that's just so much golden experience. That's kind of filthy.
Looking at the experience graph right now, it is dead even at 0. Or very close to 0.50, it looks like.
Haster in on Scandal. Nope, Dendy's got the skewer, and Scandal's going to play it safe. Like you said, very even.
But they do have, I think Team Dire has a lot more stacks, though.
Yeah, they've got that quad stack that you talked about, and if we look at the Radiant jungle, nothing here. Nothing here. Middle lane, Scandal is going to Shadow Strike Dendy. Dendy's already used Skewer. He's dropping real low. If Scandal had just a little bit more mana, my Kingdom for it, he would have gone in, but not able to do so.
So Dendy's still bottle crowing. He drops down to 14 HP before he can use his bottle.
This has to be one of the manliest series I've ever seen. All these players just so aggressive. Between Funnick and Blow Your Brain and Dendy and even Puppey, who was just manning up with no HP. Everybody just loves to live life on the edge. It's pretty insane to watch.
So 5 minutes in, still no first blood. Both teams just having 4 heroes in their jungle and just stacking.
This is some exciting. I feel like I'm being toyed with. You know, like when a girl shows interest in you, and then she starts playing coy, and you don't know if she's really into you, or she just wanted to flirt. What the deal is? That's what these teams are doing to us. It's like, yeah, we'll give you a taste of action, then we'll go back to just sitting and farming and doing nothing.
Hopefully things will start heating up by nighttime, or when Lion hits 6, which should be in a couple minutes. I'm looking to see where the smoke is. Keeper of the Light still has 1 smoke on him, whereas Empire does not have any, because Darkseer used that 1 to neutral. So it is nighttime now. Hopefully we start seeing some movement around the map.
Yeah, Darkseer continuing to stack. He's already level 5. We're 6 minutes in, giving that jungle Bat and Enigma that we saw yesterday a run for their money. Maybe that was 2 days ago. It's all a blur. Lone Druid is going to pick up a regen on the bear, denying that rune. Of course, the regen rune doesn't work on the bear, but hey, there you go.
So Scandal just a little bit ahead of experience on Dendi in middle. I think Quap has the advantage in this matchup, and she definitely does in experience-wise. She probably denied Dendi just a few more times than he has, but very even otherwise in middle.
I'm looking at the creep scores right now. We're already seeing 50 CS on the Lifestealer at 6.5 minutes, 50 on the Void. This is, what is that, like 8 CS per minute territory for both of them? No, sorry, a little bit less, because we're almost up to the 7-minute mark, so maybe like 7 CS a minute. That's nearly perfect from both carries. They're neck and neck, and then the Darkseer, incredibly fat as well. Granted, a lot of them are jungle creeps, but a lot of them are big jungle creeps, so they're actually worth quite a bit. This is, I mean, this is like a race. This is like Richie Rich versus Bill Gates or something. These guys are getting rich in a hurry.
Both carries opt for a minus.
Oh, Dendi blew his RP mid. He almost pulled Scandal into Illuminate, but just whiffs. A second whiff from Dendi with that RP in 2 games. Very uncharacteristic.
Maybe, that skewer range, you usually skewer into RP, and, that nerf on skewer range just makes it a little bit more difficult to position, especially against a blinker like Queen of Pain.
Yeah, and with that skewer with that RP on cooldown, it's something where Empire, maybe they look to get a little bit more aggressive here. The Queen of Pain, like you mentioned, is having the better time mid. Well, now it's pretty even, actually, but it's going to be able to set up some kills around the map, I feel. Bottom lane, they go into Darkseer. Already level 5 on Puppey. Look at the chain stun, the burst damage. Funnick trying to surge away. Tries to vacuum Lifestealer back to prevent him from getting that last auto attack off, but unable to do so in time. The Infest was blown to secure the kill. The TP from Disruptor wasted, so more economic damage done. Na'Vi strikes first. That was our first blood, and it feels late. It's only 8 minutes in, so not really that late, but there you have it. Na'Vi pulling ahead in that respect.
We'll probably see Funnick abandon bottom lane, especially since Lion is level 6 now. He can easily die to that dual lane, so he'll probably just return to the jungle. We do see him going top. There's still a lot of stacks to be taken out, and we're probably still going to see continued farming for at least the next few minutes of the game.
Some people have suggested that stacking should be removed from the game entirely. And I guess this game might give them their case. I don't really think it should be, but there are ways to punish it, but just both of these teams say, we'll punish your stacking by doing even more of our own, so I know you're a big fan of the stacks.
Yeah, it does lead to more boring games, though. We've seen 1 kill in 9 minutes of play.
We have seen a lot of... See, that's one way to look at it, but creeps are people too, man, and there's a lot of them dying. Oh, top lane while I'm making bad jokes. Faceless Void gets picked off. Wow, Faceless Void gets picked off, and it's with the Finger of Death, the early level 6 on Lion. Something which we thought the Hex could be big trouble for the Queen of Pain, but it's also trouble for Void. Unable, it looks like, to time leap away to safety there, and bites the dust.
Lion is almost level 8 at this point in the game, being involved in the only 2 kills of the game.
And he's so level dependent as a support, but he's almost got a maxed out Hex. A lot of times when you see Lion, he'll just, if he loses, it's, oh, Scandal wanted to go there, but just not.
Thought twice about that Sonic Wave.
Yeah, almost as many times as Dendi has thought about his RP in these 2 games. So, where do we sit as far as gold? Just suddenly a massive increase for Na'Vi. It was even for the first 7.5 minutes. Now they're up by Over 2.5k. Lone Druid, we haven't even talked about him, and what is he sitting on? He's got the Midas up, he's got an earlier into Basilius, and now another 800 gold. We may just see that Naked Relic. If Empire aren't going to go for him, why not? What does the Void have? He's got a Midas too. Everybody's got a Midas. Except for these supports, which we should see soon. That Disruptor and Twin-Headed Dragon. They'll be next with the Midases, but we may have to wait a couple more minutes for that. They're not actually going Midas, guys.
This Impale Finger combo is going to be very devastating for Blow if he doesn't backtrack anything. He only has level 1 backtrack, which is 10%, and Lion's combo does almost 860 damage at this point. So he's probably going to be sitting at like 15% HP after that combo. So Lion plus any hero can just easily gank this Void.
Well, there's any hero. There's an Illuminate. And Blow Your Brain wants to kill. He's tired of that spam. Arsart will fall. He gets picked off. Meanwhile, middle lane, Scandal walking in. Dendy, is he disconnected? He's just standing here and fighting. That's why he's got backup. That RP didn't miss. He'll bite the dust. Sure, you blow the RP, you get the kill. Absolutely worth it. And this just buys more time for Light of Heaven to farm the jungle, as well as for Havost. Another incredibly fat carry up to the Armlet, Midas, and Boots. And whatever he wants, he's going to have it soon. They're giving away a lot. Empire's giving away a lot to get this Void farmed, and what makes matters worse is he died earlier.
Puppy's doing a very good job of containing all 3 lanes. He got that first blood on bottom, then early kill on Void with the Finger of Death, and just his recent kill on Quap. So he's keeping the important heroes down in all 3 lanes. First Darkseer, then Void, and then Queen of Pain. And he's level 8 at this point, almost on par with the solo Queen of Pain in middle.
Yeah, he's actually ahead of her. I'm looking at the experience graph, and it seems like he's a creep or so ahead, or something along those lines. That's incredible, because Scandal hasn't really left the lane too much. He has been here for most of these 12 minutes. Dendy is going to get a Scream. Dendy almost has a Blink Dagger as well. Puppy with a Smoke Up. Tranquil Boots wanted. He's been buying all the wards, I believe. Maybe Keeper of the Light has been, but I think Arsart is getting some of the... We're going to be going towards the utility items soon, so we may see that Mech or Force Staff coming out from him. What do you do if you're Empire right now? You're giving away free farm to a Lone Druid as well as a Lifesteal, and also a lot of farm to the other 3 heroes. The Mags almost got the Blink. Do you have to force a fight, or do you just try and sit back?
Well, it looks like Faceless Void is trying to rush a Battle Fury. Once he gets that Battle Fury, he may be able to keep up and farm, but they really do need to keep the Syllabear from getting his Radiance. He is sitting on... Oh, he's actually rushing a Vlad's. He's not actually going for the early... Oh, looks like Faceless Void just picked up a solo kill on Arzard on top, the Keeper of the Light, by blowing Chronosphere. But looks like this Lone Druid is not opting for the normal Midas Radiance that we see. He's going for Vladimir's Blessing, or Vladimir's Offering, rather, and I don't know, maybe an early roast from Team Na'Vi.
Well, it's going to be tough to get that, because there's still that tier 1 mid, and, you know, we saw it in Game 1. That was the goal for Na'Vi, to get that
We see a smoke on bottom.
Yeah, they're going to go in on Havost. He's not the easiest kill. He doesn't have a TP scroll, though. That could be big trouble. And he's going to go in on Godblack. He's going to take someone with him if he can. Where's the Surge? Funnick didn't have it because he used it on himself to initiate. There's your Static Storm. They bring the Lifesteal down. Still a decent trade, but it was 4 heroes converging on that lane. So not as big of a win as they would like. And now Na'Vi, with that early Vlads, here comes the push. Dandy's got Empower. It should be on the Bear, I believe. Is it? No, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is. And now Light of Heaven up to another 900 gold. The Lifestealer dies, but they have so many other heroes who are getting farm.
You can't keep them all down at this point in the game.
And, you know, Blow Your Brain, when he uses that Chrono on a solo hero, then they can't really contest mid. It does seem like Empire's team fight, it really comes down to the Chronosphere. Sure, you've got some other good AoE, but that's the only reliable long-term lockdown they're going to have in these fights. Lifestealer, with that Rage, can just walk calmly out of the Thunderdome unless he's already silenced. The Lone Druid, his Bear's still going to be annoying anyway, and the supports are going to stay back, so I feel like maybe they need to start saving the Chrono for team fights. Normally it's okay to use it for solo kills, but in this game, it's allowing Na'Vi to be really aggressive with the pushes.
So it looks like Empire's pushing top right, or Empire's defending top right now. 3 seconds on Chronosphere. Glyph is up.
Do they fight this? There is a Glimpse available. It's only level 2. He went for 3 points in Thunderstrike. Rather unusual. I gotta say, I feel like I really prefer that max Glimpse because it gives you that opportunity to just get pickoffs around the map, and that's something Empire definitely want to be doing. But, hey, he's gone for, I guess, a little more burst damage, which is also something they need since the Void's going very farm-heavy on his build.
Void has to be very careful about his initiation. If he goes in and gets hexed by Lion, the fight's pretty much over from there. If his teammates can't back him up, he's trying to play it safe right now. He's very close to his Battle Fury. He's just a broadsword away, so 350 gold until he completes that. We see Dendi invis in middle. We may see him try and pick up a kill here. And they are smoked behind him.
Oh, there's a Sentry Ward mid. I think they saw him get this room, but he blinks it anyway. He cancels the RP. Dendi loves canceling that RP. It's like just to show that he can. Oh, man. But he chooses not to engage, and I think that was the right call because there was a lot of protection behind him. But Lifestealer is going to go in first. Static Storm is dropped, so he can't rage, but he is still killing off the Disruptor. This is what I was talking about. That doesn't actually do too much to Lifestealer. Now the RP onto Skyward back. Queen of Pain can't blink away because the Hex is here, and that Hex is ruining them. 3 heroes dead. Na'Vi crushed through, and where was the Chrono? Blow Your Brain just couldn't get there in time. Wow, that Hex from Puppey, such a huge play, and now they're going to push mid.
This Lion pick is turning out to be very, very good for them. This Hex is just completely shuts down their blinkers and pseudo-blinkers in the form of Faceless Void, and that Disable just completely demolishes them.
And I feel like it was Na'Vi just having a better understanding of how the game was going to develop with the draft, because when you... Oh, in comes the Void. He chronos, and is he going to fight this? Here's the backup. There's going to be a vacuum into the Ice Path, and then a decent amount of burst. They're held in the kinetic field. They're dropping pretty low, but there is no Static Storm. Lifestealer infests. Will he pop back out? He does. No, sorry, he didn't infest there. He just got into the middle of the fight and then backs off. Now Puppey getting chased. 3 hero impale. Hero Puppey trying to save his team. They're all running away, and Empire get a couple of kills. It was a sloppy engage. Felt like the Void went in a second or two early, but he did catch a few, and now they're going to look to go Roche. Buyback from Lawton. Not going to allow this. Man, Puppey is playing really well in this game.
Yeah, it looked like he was almost about to get away from that with a missed Ice Path.
3 hero impale. That is something you don't see every day. And if he wasn't so highly leveled and farmed for a support Lion, we probably wouldn't be seeing it.
So Blow Your Brain has finally finished his Midas. We may see him start participating in team fights a little bit earlier now. He did use that Chronosphere a second or two early, you are correct. Queen of Pain was still just a few seconds away from reviving, but that may have been the best opportunity that he was going to get.
Blow Your Brain pushes in that bottom lane, then walks back. He's starting to take that more dangerous farm as the hard carry. He's got reliable escapes, is pretty tanky. Oh, heavens, Halberd. Now, keep in mind that the evasion doesn't work through Chronosphere, so it's not a catch-all answer to Void, but it does also give you that disarm, and because Void went for this ultra farm-heavy build with Midas Battle Fury, he doesn't have the BKB. They are going to catch out Dendi. Dendi gets vacuumed. I think he got vacuumed up the cliff into the Ancients, and then gets picked off. Pretty big play from Funnick.
So Funnick picks up a Ghost Scepter, which is very good for Snakes, as we saw from last game. Hopefully we see a couple more to supports pick it up. That Observer Ward bottom set that whole kill up for them. Very nice vacuum by Funnick.
Bottom lane, Disruptor. A bold adventure towards the enemy river, doing some dewarding. Did just see a couple of Na'Vi heroes there. And will they look to push this? It looks like they're just baiting Havost, expecting Empire to take the bait. Scandal, 2,100 gold. Very poor on this Queen of Pain. There's got to be something on the Courier. There's an Ultimate Orb. Okay, I was going to say, he's almost as poor as the support Lion. That would be a real problem for them. But at least there's the Ultimate Orb, not too far off the Hex to try and match the Lion's Hex. Middle lane, it's Blow pushing that lane in. He's up to 1,500 gold. He's got the Chrono. Na'Vi starting to pressure this lane. Expect to see those supports. The Lion, as well as the Keep It Light, sit very far back. Look to counter-initiate and just siege the tower out. The Lone Druid face boots up. He might not even go Relic this game, has made no effort to do so yet. They all get vacuumed to the tower, but the tower drops without being defensed. It will fall. And now Void just going to farm the lane, so they give up that tier 2 bottom, and that's going to make Roshan, well, pretty wide open, to be honest. There's no towers mid, there's no towers bottom outside of the base.
So it looks like Blow Your Brain looks like he keeps wanting to farm. He probably needs a BKB before he can initiate. Like, he wanted his Battle Fury, now he's just farming away, and he kind of needs a Battle Fury, or, sorry, a Black Ping Bar, or else Lion's Disable will just Oh, Navi smokes up in middle.
Yeah, here we go. That bear is empowered. It's going to have that cleave coming its way. And they smoke up, place some wards, then back off. SS had an invis rune, so he'll be okay with this. But now they head top. It's a smoke gank of the tower. Wow, this would be pretty smart play if it is. Looks like they're... I think that's what they're doing. They're just going to sneak top, get the positioning, and start pushing. Now they recall someone in, I believe. Who's about to arrive? There you go. It's the Lifestealer. And this was a great play because they get the jump on the tower. The positioning is there. The ward's down on the high ground. And now it gets hard for Empire to engage properly. Blow's going to walk in, but look at the positioning. Light of Heaven's way out in front of everybody's back, so they can't find a good chrono. And without a good chrono, they can't fight. Now Goblet gets picked off. In comes Blow, but he gets impaled. He's taking decent damage. Chrono does barely catch Lifestealer. Almost a disaster, but an even better RP by Dendy. 4 heroes in the RP. Opa Dendy. Is it going to be enough to get the kills? Blow your brain dropping low. Funnick on the retreat. 3 heroes dead. And that chrono, although it caught 2, just was not as good as the RP. And Navi going straight for high ground at 21 minutes in. They want to win Starladder Season 4. They want to close out the year with a bang. There are 3 heroes with buyback on the side of Navi. The one hero who had it does buyback on Empire, but it's a Void without a Chronosphere. How much can he really do? He thinks a lot, but the answer may be very little. The macro player, that is doing a lot, driving back the supports. They get another kill. Maybe now they back off, at least waiting for the next creep wave. Ay. That was one of the best RPs I've ever seen.
Definitely a great RP. Immediately, like right after he Chronosphere 2 people, Dendy strikes back, RP on 4, and that is just GG for that team fight.
And it's the problem. It's the big thing about the mag RP is you really have to chrono him, or while you, or he's just gonna disable your entire team, and they're gonna be taking. And that's the issue with Empires. They're a lot easier to kill off than Navi. Navi's so tanky. I mean, look at the Lifestealer when he's got his armlet toggled on. Oh, really? Almost complete Assault Cuirass about to come out. He just needs the Hyperstone, so not going to bother saving for buyback. But yeah, none of these Navi heroes are really easy kills, aside from the supports who just sit really far back. So then, you know, if you don't chrono mag, your supports die quickly, whereas their supports just aren't in a position to die at all. They get the tower unopposed. And let's see if they engage here. The chrono is cooling down. Impale. If that Impale hits, that's probably the death of Void. There was a Hex available to follow that one up. The bear just mowing down the racks. The range racks will fall. It's the melee racks they really care about, but Empire got to fight soon. They've got the vacuum. They've got the wall, but do they have the opening? In comes the rage. In comes an instant death, and the Illuminate spam driving that Void back. Still no BKB on him. Has the Ogre Club, which doesn't really do a whole lot against this lineup. They're just taking racks for free. This is a sad way for Empire to lose a lane of Rex, I gotta say.
Yeah, they can't really defend it. They keep getting illuminated. Blow your brain's only staying at half HP, so if he goes in and gets fingered, he's gonna die instantly without his Black King bar.
That was the Illuminate spam. I'm a little surprised that Keeper of the Light slipped through. I mean, I mentioned some of the other good supports, but this hero is just such a powerful. And even if Empire had gone for an aggressive tri-lane, he still would have been good against that to some extent. And Navi start with the aggressive draft with a lot of heroes that need farm and levels, and then end it with a Lion who also needs a lot of levels. And then Empire doesn't punish it. And then here we come in the mid game where one good RP, and Navi's basically looking to take 2 lanes of Rex, and if they do that, I think that's pretty much game. We're not there yet. Empire are smoked up, trying to counter it. Navi, they're far ahead. They have an Assault Cuirass now, and the Void's just not going to be hitting that hard. I mentioned how heroes are tanky. There's evasion on the Lifestealer if he doesn't get chronoed, which will remove that. And then he's got the high armor. He's got the Infest shenanigans. It's so many heroes that are difficult to bring down, and once the chrono's dead, once the chrono ends, if you haven't killed them, you're screwed.
So Empire smoked up looking for an opening, but Navi's not going to give them one. Dendy is invis in the middle, just running around with his haste looking for someone to pick off, and they are pushing up the hill in middle right now. You
know Dendy feels confident because he's building a Battle Fury, it looks like. Don't think he's going for the Oh, here comes the fight. Forget about that. Thunderdome is applied, but it's not really that scary. They're just chilling on the Thunderdome. Lightning striking here and there. Sorry, rather. And now a good RP again on 3. The GGs fly out. It is Na'Vi who take the series. They are your Season 4 champions of Starladder. They end 2012 with a bang after really slipping in some of the earlier events. And unfortunately for Empire, they finished second. Na'Vi just outclassing them in this fun game.
Wow. We saw a 10-minute farm fest, and then after that, they're like, okay, we're done farming. Let's push down all these towers. And Na'Vi was able to take down two sets of racks in 25 minutes.
And, you know, it's something we do see when teams go farming lineups, but we saw it so early. We saw it at, like, you know, the 15, 20-minute mark. They said, okay, we're just going to go and kill. Whereas oftentimes, you know, it's like more like that 30 to 35, especially when you have this many farm-dependent heroes, like the Lifestealer, the Mag, and the Lone Druid. What a way for Na'Vi to close out the year. A punctuation mark, an exclamation point for them. Well, guys, congratulations to Na'Vi are in order. They are your Starladder Season 4 champions. Still Empire, they played very well to get here. They had a long road to the Grand Finals, and they will finish second. Nothing to be ashamed about. But Na'Vi defend what has really become their home turf. This event, I think they've won it every single time they've played in it, or at least the vast majority of times they have. So, that wraps it up for this broadcast. We'll try and wait for the final scoreboard, but while we do so, Merlini, any closing words, any thoughts, any shout-outs you want to give?
Thanks for letting me cast with you, LD. It was a pleasure. It was a very exciting game to cast. Well played by both teams. If you like me or my stream, you can follow me on Twitch or YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. They're all the same, /Merlini Dota.
Guys, and if you're looking to get better at this game, if you tune in and you have no idea what's going on, I saw a few people in the stream chat saying, what is a tri-lane? Well, Merlini is one of the best people in the business, if not the best, to teach you that stuff. He started to release some educational videos, so I highly recommend checking out his YouTube channel, youtube.com/MerliniDota, and of course the live stream as well. Merlini, thanks for joining me. It's been a pleasure. It's been a treat, and hopefully we will have some more casts coming up in the future. Guys, that wraps it up for your Starladder action for today. I hope you enjoyed the Beyond the Summit presentation. Huge shout out to Valat for letting us cast these games, as well as the rest of Starladder.tv. Congratulations again to Na'Vi, Empire, and the 3rd and 4th place teams, Fnatic EU and Virtus.pro respectively. And big thanks to them, shout out to them for giving us such amazing games over the course of the weekend. We're done with European Dota for the rest of 2012, but we're not done with Dota. Beyond the Summit is proud to announce that we will be casting the G League. So, if you want to see the premier Asian teams duking it out, there is a Dota TV ticket which you can purchase. You can also watch the games for free in HD on this very channel. So if you want more Dota action, the action kicks off at around 7, I think it's 7 a.m. Eastern time for me on the Eastern Coast of the United States on Christmas morning. So, hope to see you guys then. But for now, it's LD and Merlini signing off. Jumanji! Draskell made me do it.